everybody, it's Asbel. I'm in Columbia, Tennessee, about 45 miles south of Nashville. Behind me is the home of James K. Polk. Who in the blue hell is James K. Polk, you say? Well, he was America's 11th president, and historians constantly rank him among our greatest, even though we've never heard of him. He fought and won the war with Mexico. He annexed Texas into the United States, and under Polk, we added more land in the United States than under any other president. 850,000 square miles, the Oregon Territory, Colorado, Arizona, California. We became a coast-to-coast nation under Polk. Now, of all the homes Polk lived in, only two remain. The one behind me and the White House. So let's go in and take a look around. Everybody today talks about how the presidency ages somewhat. You look at George W. Bush or Barack Obama when they entered the presidency, and then when they left, they look like two different guys. And we think anybody who has to carry the nuclear codes around, of course it's going to age you. Well, it's not anything new. James K. Polk was a workaholic. And if you look, this portrait was painted when he was 50 years old, shortly after he became president. He worked and worked and worked. Apparently, he took only 27 days off during the 4 years he was president. By the end of his presidency, 3 years later, he looked like this. Totally different guy. Who knew? We're in the museum of the James K. Polk House. Now, when Polk was president, photography was just coming into being. And at the time, they used something called daguerreotypes, very early kind of photography. One Saturday, Sarah Polk, James Polk's wife, had the cabinet come to the White House. She called a photographer, and the cabinet sat for this daguerreotype. It's the first picture ever of a president and his cabinet, and it's the first photo ever shot inside the White House. On the ground to the Tennessee State Capitol in Nashville, and behind me is the grave of President James K. Polk. Now, when Polk left the White House, he didn't come straight back to Tennessee. He made a couple of stops along the way. He went to Mobile, Alabama, went to New Orleans, and some other places. Now, while he was in New Orleans, he contracted cholera. Cholera is a terrible disease. It's an infection of the small intestine that you get by eating food or drinking water that's been contaminated with feces. Yes, you heard me right, feces. President Polk came back to Tennessee deathly ill, and within 3 months of leaving the White House, he died of cholera. So if he teaches us one lesson today, it's don't drink poop water. Now, his wife, Sarah, outlived him by 40 years. Before his death, they bought a mansion located about a block from this Capitol building called Polk Place. Sarah loved James and wanted to protect his legacy, so she had him buried in the front yard of their mansion, so the neighbors and the people of Nashville could come pay their respects in the front yard whenever they walked by. Now, Sarah, being a widow, didn't have any income, and that big mansion fell into disrepair during the 42 years that she outlived him. So when Sarah died, the mansion had to be torn down. Now, James was sitting in the front yard. What are we going to do? Well, they dug him up and moved him here to the state capitol grounds and buried him and Sarah together, and that's where they rest today.